welcome to another RSR. Tonight I'm reviewing Orlando City SC 1, Toronto FC 2. Toronto FC wins in MLS 2024 Week 10, their 5th win of the season in MLS. They achieve or exceed their win total from 2023 in MLS. They already exceeded the win total all comps on Wednesday. They extend that by one. 6 wins all comps, 5 wins in MLS. Good start to the season. They're 4th in the East right now. Lovely. You love to see it because Montreal didn't beat Columbus, but Columbus couldn't beat them either. Toronto gets the win late. Orlando gets the first punch landed. I'd say Toronto was slightly the better team in the macro. In the micro, there are things I want to talk about, a lot of tactics that I'm still not completely sold on. I think this team could do better, and there's some things they need to change. And I would like that to be in the zeitgeist until it does change, because I think there's some things that really need to be worked on for this team before we get to our best. Not too bad. We're better than we were last year, but we still need to get to our best. There are some things that need to change. With that being said, goals were scored as follows. Then I'll give some thoughts. Then I'll do the tactic talk, which not as much as I would if we lost or drew, but still will. 37th minute, Duncan McGuire. Ball gets crossed into him by Facundo Torres. Duncan McGuire taps it home. Just onside, taps it home. 1-0 Orlando. Of course, he dunks on us because he's Duncan McGuire. Orlando runs on him. Halftime, it's 1-0. Then in the 87th minute, Tyrese Spicer, working his butt off, gets in there for a header, pops it in, top bins. Beautiful header by Spicer. And it's 1-1, tie game. 3 minutes later, 90th minute, Prince Owusu does the same. Bernadeschi lofts the ball in. Owusu doesn't give up on it, heads it in. And it basically just nutmegs Gaiese. Like, he just lets that one in, soft serve. And in the end, it's 1-2 after that Prince Owusu goal. His 3rd straight game with a goal. His 4th game with goals in 5 games. He's rolling. He's rolling, is all I got to say. Man is rolling. He's rolling, is all I got to say. With that being said, full time, it is 1-2. Toronto FC wins and gets another win. You love to see it. They were slightly the better team. I think overall they deserved this win. They worked very hard late on with Tyrese Spicer, especially when he came on. They did what they had to do to win. It wasn't the most beautiful. It wasn't the most confident, but they got it done, and that's what you want to see. So there you go. Full-time stats, 8 shots to 13, 3 shots on goal to 4, 48% possession to 52% possession, 502 passes to 529, 84% pass accuracy to 86, 13 fouls to 12, 3 offside to 5, 4 yellow cards 4, 0 red cards 0, 3 corners to 4. Listen, when it comes down to it, this win was a deserved win, but it was not a perfect win. This team did just enough to pull a win out of this game. They basically did to Orlando what always happens to Toronto. They went and basically to buy us time to Orlando, legitimately. Orlando handed them the win. I mean, yeah, Toronto earned it, but they definitely made sure that 3 points came cajoled out of Orlando's hands and it fell into Toronto's. Toronto made Orlando fumble it, or at least laid the hit that made them fumble it, but Toronto did enough to pick up those 3 points. But again, Orlando landed a punch. Toronto landed 2, is the point. Passing-wise, I thought Toronto was good on the ball. I just don't think there was enough movement. Orlando, on the other hand, they were milquetoast. After the McGuire goal, especially the offside one, right before the half, they really just zapped them, to be honest. You didn't see the same Orlando after that offside goal in the second half. They just were content holding on to one, and it didn't go their way. But it just didn't seem like the same Orlando team after that for that second offside goal. And then Toronto comes back and wins. But again, let me jump back into the not enough movement. Because one thing I don't like about this team under Herdman is there's not enough positional rotation. One, this team needs a number 10. That's just facts. There's too much going through the wings, especially when Insigne is healthy. But you're going through much to the wings, or going through the wings too much. You bring up Spicer, you bring up Jaquil. When Richie's healthy, you bring him up. There's too much going through the wings and channels. You need to rotate positionally to get more in the middle, or at least have a number 10. But for now, until the summer window, rotate positionally to get more down the middle, because that's exactly what you need to do. Positionally, they're not set up well enough when it comes down to where they are trying to put the ball forward. To me, John Herdman has one plan. If his plan doesn't work, you're shit out of luck. If the plan works, you win. I don't like that. And there have been some positional rotations. There have been some where this team instinctually rotates positionally. Like when Bernadeschi cuts in to let Jaquil overrun and overlap, there's one. You need to do that more, because has it led to anything right now? No. Can it if you do it 3, 4, 5 times a game? When the moment calls, and not just obviously calls, but you see the cracks forming in the other team, you make that run. So my point is, there is the Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy Bernadeschi combo. And honestly, I like when that happens. They are working together well, but I'd like that to be more of a set play than a, hey, it's so obvious we got to make this run. It'd be like, hey, there's a couple of reasons why you'd make this run, and sometimes they're not 100% obvious. You have to move. Again, another one for me personally is Alonso Coelho. Speaking of the back three, Gomes. Speaking of the back three, Gomes. You have Coelho drop back into the back three to let the team go forward. He's very good on the ball. He knows how to pass the ball. You let him drop into the back three in sort of a Mascherano type role. You let Gomes go because he's so fast. And I'm not saying down the wing. It could be down the channel. It could be down the middle. But you let Gomes run because he's fast. He's got a good touch. He's fast. And he can pass the ball when need be. He's very good on the ball. But Coelho is very smart on his passing. I'm not saying he's slow. What I am saying is he's very cognizant of where he is on the pitch and with the ball. Without too, but with the ball, he's very cognizant. What you do is you take Coelho, drop him back into that back three, especially when you're triggering the forward run. Not exactly on a defensive type situation. You get him the ball offensively, let him drop. You drop offensively, get him over, get Gomes up, play that ball up, work it forward. There is a lot of things that this team can do, positionally, rotation-wise, that John Herdman, I'm surprised he ain't doing. The more movement this team has, especially before we get a number 10, the better. The more chances that we could truly create, instead of just having possession all the time and not doing anything with it, which now at least we have one tactic. Under Bradley, we had none. Under Dunfield, we had none. But if you wanted to look back, you can on Apple TV. You could go back to the 2021 matches. Watch them fully. Javier Perez's era. There was multiple tactics. There was movement on that team. Now, most of the players on that team are not here right now, except for Richie Larea, Jonathan Osorio. But again, you could look at it and say, hey, I see the movement. I see positional swaps. I see positional rotation. I see players dropping in to allow an overrun. You don't really, you see it sometimes, but I don't think that's what Herdman really truly wants. That doesn't fit with his system. He likes athleticism. He likes possession. He likes the ball going forward. He likes pace. That, I guess, does lend to spontaneous rotation. If I could use a weather term, spin-up rotation. That lends to spin-ups. It doesn't lend to EF5s, you know? Pace doesn't lend to EF5s. It lends to spin-up rain wrap tornadoes. That's exactly what John Herdman's going for. I want an EF5. I know this team can be an EF5 bearing down on teams and just destroying them. He is like, hey, maybe we could pull down a tree limb. Maybe we could pull down some shingles. Maybe we could pull down a freaking power line. That'll be enough. No, it's not. It's not. Sometimes it isn't just the wind, it's the debris. It's the spinning of the situation, right? The rotation does make a tornado, but it does not make a destructive tornado. The more rotation, the stronger the rotation, the better. The stronger the play, the better. Why I'm comparing this to tornadoes, I don't know. Only me, right? But with that being said, you need to see a team play the ball forward. They can dominate. With the players that they have, positionally rotating, moving more, staying hot on their feet, staying on the balls of their feet, ready to drop the shoulder, ready to move in, ready to cut, and not stopping, not being idle for a second, this team could dominate. Whether they're on the ball or off, they could dominate. I see it. I see it, especially with the profile players that they have. But John Herdman ain't going to do it. These players have to realize and learn themselves that more movement helps this team play better. And it looks like some of our best plays end up happening on movement that isn't supposed to happen, isn't scripted to happen. Ironically enough, so with that being said, to me personally, there needs to be more movement in this team. They need to be hotter on their heels. They need to be quicker on their heels. They need to be smarter on how the ball's played. And that's my opinion. Speaking of tornadoes, there's no warnings. Speaking of weather, speaking of tornadoes wasn't, whatever. Speaking of weather, there you go. With that being said, I'm fine. I would not be recording a video during a tornado warning. Especially if I knew there was some that possibly could drop. I'd wait. With that being said, yeah, TFC needs to make more movement. That's the one thing they really need to do if they want to truly be better. But again, they got it done. Man of the match for me, I'm going to say Prince Owuzu because he works his ass off and he got us the winning goal. Big up to Tyrese Spicer as well. With that being said, big win for Toronto. It's not perfect, but they got it done. With that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribe. Send super chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put us in playlist. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. My Dynasty Stars, I'll see you tomorrow for Run It Back. And Monday for the month ahead for May. Tuesday for everybody else, plus the Dynasty Stars. I will see you for a live watch-along and review of Champions Cup second leg, semifinals second leg, same on Wednesday. And if the Leafs get to a Game 6, I'll be live for that. They probably won't. And if they somehow get to a Game 7, it'll be a double next Saturday instead of just Toronto-Dallas. So, there you go. With that being said, I'll see you later, though. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. Let's go.